800 kilograms came charging straight at her. Fiona Boyd did not have time to scream. The first impact struck her hip, throwing her off the ground like a rag doll. She fell face down onto the wet grass, the smell of soil and cow manure flooding her nose. Before she could understand what was happening, the cow's entire weight came crashing down onto her back. Her ribs cracked. The air was forced out of her lungs. Fiona curled into herself, both hands covering her head, both knees pulled up to her chest. The final reflex of a body no longer capable of fighting back. She could feel the cow's hooves stamping into the ground right beside her temple. She could hear the animal's heavy, snorting breaths directly above her. And one thought cut through her mind as clear as daylight. This is it. I'm going to die here. No one knew she was here. Her husband, Matt, was in the field on the other side of the farm. Her 2 children were there as well. Her phone was lying in the kitchen. Around her, there was only pasture, fences, and a mother cow that had lost control. But Fiona was wrong to think that no one could help her. Because 30 meters away, a 15-year-old chestnut mare had just lifted her head from the grass. The afternoon in Chapmanton began like every other afternoon. The farm lay near the town of Castle Douglas in the region of Kirkcudbrightshire, one of the most remote and peaceful rural areas in Scotland. Gently rolling hills covered in green grass stretched all the way to the horizon. A light wind moved through the hedgerows. The cattle grazed quietly in the afternoon sun. Everything was so still that you could hear the water running from the small stream at the bottom of the hill. Fiona Boyd, 40 years old, mother of 2 children, was boiling water for tea in the kitchen, an essential habit in every rural Scottish household in the afternoon. Her husband, Matt, 44, was working with their 2 sons in the distant field. She was home alone. Nothing seemed unusual, until a sound cut through the open window. The cry of a calf. Not an ordinary cry. It was the kind of sound any farmer would recognize immediately. The panicked cry of a young animal separated from its mother. High-pitched, continuous, broken, as if it were calling with every bit of its small strength and receiving no answer. Fiona left the kettle and stepped outside. The calf was standing at the edge of the pasture, turning in circles, its neck stretched high. It had been separated from its mother and could not find its way back through the herd. Its mother, a Charolais cow with a cream-white coat, a muscular body, weighing nearly half a ton, was somewhere on the far side of the grazing field. For a farmer like Fiona, this was a familiar situation. A calf separated from its mother for too long could become dehydrated or exhausted. She decided to lead the calf into the barn, then bring the mother cow after it. A simple job. She had done this hundreds of times. On her way out to the field, she passed Kerry. The chestnut mare was standing beside the fence, her tail flicking to drive away flies. 15 years old, middle-aged for a horse. Kerry was not a working horse. She was a pet, a companion. 15 years of being groomed by Fiona every morning, fed apples from her hand, soothed during thunderstorms. 15 years of standing beside the fence, watching Fiona walk back and forth across the farmyard, day after day. Fiona did not stop. She only glanced at Kerry as she always did. A familiar look between 2 living beings who had shared the same space for 15 years, then continued walking toward the calf. She did not know that this would be the last peaceful moment of that afternoon.
All right, little one, come on.
Fiona
Just come
bent
over
down,
here. It's
both
okay.
hands reaching forward,
That's it, step
gently
forward.
trying to guide the calf
right,
toward the
come to me.
barn. The calf kept crying. And that very cry, the cry she was trying to help bring to an end,
It's all right. You're
was
doing
what
well.
triggered the disaster.
Good boy, good boy.
You have to understand this. That Charolais cow was not a mad cow. She was a mother cow. In the postpartum period, the entire hormonal system changes, and the instinct to protect offspring is pushed to its highest level. Any living being that approaches her calf becomes a threat, even the farmer who has cared for her for years. This was not madness. This was evolution. Millions of years of natural selection had programmed one command into her brain: protect the calf at all costs. The Charolais heard her calf crying. She saw an unfamiliar creature bending down beside her baby, and she charged. A cream-white mass of muscle came rushing forward, head lowered, with no warning, no bellow, no stopping. The first blow struck Fiona in the hip. She fell face down onto the ground. She tried to push herself up, and that was when the cow attacked a second time. It drove straight into her back, pressing its full weight onto her before crashing down over her. Fiona felt her ribs crack. The world went black. She curled into a ball, covering her head, pulling her knees in. The only reflex she had left. The cow's hooves stamped down right beside her head. The ground shook. She thought of Matt, of her 2 children. They did not even know she was lying there. I'm going to die here. That was when she heard the sound of hooves. No one knows exactly what happened inside Kerry's mind in that moment. Horses are grazing animals. Their entire evolutionary history has only one principle when facing danger: run. Horses do not fight. Horses flee. That is how they survived for millions of years on the open plains, where standing still to fight meant death. But that afternoon, Kerry heard the cow bellowing. She saw Fiona, the woman who had groomed her every morning for 15 years, lying curled up on the ground, motionless, beneath the hooves of a cow, twice her weight. And Kerry did not run. She charged. The chestnut mare raced across the pasture, cutting straight between Fiona and the cow. She swung her hindquarters around and delivered the first kick, her hoof striking the Charolais in the ribs with enough force to make the animal stagger backward. The cow did not retreat. Her maternal instinct was still boiling over. She charged again. Kerry intercepted her. She kicked repeatedly, bit at the cow's neck, and used her whole body to push it away. These were not the panicked kicks of a frightened horse. They were deliberate kicks, repeated again and again, each one pulling the cow farther away from the woman lying motionless on the ground. Fiona opened her eyes. Through the haze of pain, she saw the chestnut mane whipping in the wind. She heard the horse's hooves pounding the ground like war drums. Kerry. Her beloved horse was fighting a cow nearly twice her weight. Fiona understood. This was her only chance. She began to crawl, 1 centimeter at a time. Pain tore through her ribcage with every movement, but she did not stop. 6 meters. She only needed to crawl 6 meters to the electric fence. 6 meters between her and survival. Behind her, Kerry was still kicking. Every kick bought Fiona a few more seconds. A few seconds to crawl another half meter. A few seconds to get a little closer. At last, Fiona slipped through the electric fence. She lay face down on the other side, gasping for breath, her whole body trembling. Mud, wet grass, and a few streaks of blood clung to her clothes. Her ribs flared with pain at every breath. But she was alive. When the Charolais finally retreated toward her calf, Kerry stopped as well. The mare stood still beside the fence, breathing heavily, her eyes still fixed on the cow, her entire body tense and ready. She did not leave until the cow had completely turned away. Then Kerry slowly walked toward the fence where Fiona was lying. Fiona called Matt with all the strength she had left. Matt and their 2 sons came running. They took her to the hospital. Doctors confirmed that she had severe bruising across her body and multiple cuts, but no life-threatening injuries. She was discharged the same day.
If she hadn't been in that field that day, I truly believe I would have died.
Later, when recounting the story, Fiona simply said, "I have no doubt at all. Kerry saved my life. If she hadn't been in that field that day, I truly believe I would have died." But perhaps the most thought-provoking part is not what Kerry did, but what Kerry did not do. She did not run. Kerry was very likely afraid. Her heartbeat must have surged. Adrenaline flooded her bloodstream. Every nerve in her body was screaming, "Run." But there was something stronger than fear. 15 years of being cared for, trusted, treated not as a working horse but as a friend. Those 15 years had rewritten something inside Kerry's instincts. Something strong enough for a horse. A species born to flee, to choose to stand its ground and fight. There is a deep irony in this story that few people recognize. The Charolais cow did not attack Fiona because she was evil. Behind that large, cream-white body people saw every day, there was, on that afternoon, a mother ready to do anything to protect her newborn calf. And on the other side of the confrontation, Kerry also acted on instinct, but on a completely different kind of instinct. Not maternal instinct, but something science is still trying to name precisely. A bond that crosses the boundaries between species, built not by genes, but by time. By 15 years of care and mutual trust. 2 instincts faced each other on a grassy field in Scotland on an ordinary afternoon. The instinct to protect a child, and the instinct of loyalty. And in those decisive few seconds, loyalty kept Fiona alive. Fiona Boyd still lives on Chapmanton Farm. She still cares for the livestock every day. And every morning when she steps out of the house, Kerry is still standing by the fence, her tail flicking, waiting for the familiar apple from the hand of the woman she once risked her life to save. No words needed. No explanation needed. Just being there. Sometimes loyalty needs no language.